Hello, and welcome back to Rooted in the Seasons, where ancient wisdom meets modern life with a strong cup of tea and practical tools for real busy women. I'm Katja Patel, Ayurvedic diet and lifestyle educator, yoga teacher, mentor, and I help women find more calm and clarity through small daily rituals, seasonal rhythm, and timeless wisdom that actually fits into real life. If you're listening and feeling the need for more rhythm, especially around the mornings and the evenings, I host a monthly live Stress Less, Live More workshop where we create simple supportive routines together there and then. You'll find the details in the show notes. In today's episode, I want to talk about something many people feel at this time of the year, but don't always connect the dots around. Winter Vata imbalances. If you're listening to this episode in January or early February, you're right in that time of winter where, from the Ayurveda perspective, Vata qualities are well established. Well, what does that mean? Well, you might notice it as dry skin, poor sleep, restless thoughts, digestive issues like bloating or constipation, or more aches and stiffness in the body. Sometimes these imbalances are more in the background, and other times they are very noticeable. But these are the signs that your body has different needs to what you give it at the moment. Let's explore a little the why that happens in the winter, and more importantly, how to respond in a way that feels nourishing rather than overwhelming. Because you don't need to change everything, small consistent shifts make winter feel much steadier. So let's start with the question of the why winter aggravates Vata. In Ayurveda, Vata is made up of the elements of air and space. Its qualities are cold, dry, light, mobile, and rough. Now here's something interesting. If you think about late winter, cold air, dry indoor heating, dry winds from the east, shorter days, you notice that the environment itself behaves like Vata. And when the outer environment mirrors Vata qualities, those same qualities tend to increase in the body. As mentioned before, the winter Vata imbalances can affect skin, digestion, joints, sleep, and the nervous system all at once. And if there's already some residual heat stored away in your system from the summer, dryness can tip into irritation or flare-ups. Let's slow this down and make it more real. You might notice your skin feeling suddenly dry or tight, maybe even reactive, like dry patches. Perhaps you usually skincare just isn't cutting it, and you're seeing flare-ups that tend to come back every winter. I used to get dry patches on the outside of my thighs, and then they turned into achy, red, and sensitive patches as the winter progressed. And nothing seemed to help until I started to apply Ayurvedic oils. But more about that later. Maybe it's your digestion. You eat you eat the same food, but now you feel more bloated after meals. Things move more slowly. You might feel backed up or uncomfortable in a way that wasn't there a few weeks ago. Sleep can change too. You might fall asleep easily, but then wake up in the night or have busier dreams. Or you feel tired but still wired. The body wants rest, but the mind won't quite switch off. And then there is the body itself. More stiffness in the joints, aches seem to worsen in the cold. In Ayurveda, all pain is related to Vata. So it's no surprise that winter often brings more discomfort here. If you're nodding along, this isn't something you're doing wrong. It is really this season speaking. Before we talk about specific support, I want to pause on something important. In winter, especially when Vata is involved, rhythm matters more than remedies. This is something I see again and again with my students and clients. We often look at the right supplement or the perfect practice when what the body is really asking for is predictability. Vata settles when life becomes more regular, warm, nourishing, and predictable. That means eating meals at the similar times, choosing warm cooked food, going to bed earlier, and reducing unnecessary stimulation. These basics support every system at once: digestion, sleep, mood, and the energy. Let's look at the digestion first. Digestive dryness is one of the most common winter complaints. Here, two things make a big difference: warmth and lubrication. Sipping hot water during the day helps rehydrate the tissues and supports elimination. Starting the morning with hot water is a simple habit, but it's a powerful one. Adding a little more ghee to meals, to your soups, stews, rice, helps lubricate the digestive tract, the joints, and even the nervous system. You don't need large amounts. In my own practice, I often use just an extra teaspoon, and that's enough to ease dryness and bring things back into balance. If dryness already turned into constipation, a glass of hot water with a teaspoon of ghee or hot spiced milk with a teaspoon of ghee in the evening before bedtime are super helpful. Now, dryness doesn't stop at the digestion. It shows up in the skin and the joints too. This is where oil application becomes such a supportive winter practice. Daily oiling doesn't need to be elaborate. Even 5 minutes in the morning can help reduce dryness, calm the nervous system, and protect the skin barrier. And this consistent oiling changed also the dry patches on my thighs completely. If daily oiling feels too much, a weekly oil bath with applying warm, cold-pressed sesame oil generously, letting it soak, then letting it soak for about 20 minutes, half an hour, then showering can be deeply grounding. For joint pains and stiffness, castor oil is especially helpful. It's thick, warming, and very supportive for Vata-related aches. There's one area I want to mention because it's very common but rarely spoken about. Dryness in the colon and the back passage can lead to hard stools, straining, fissures, or hemorrhoids. And sometimes all together, especially in the winter. Hydration and internal lubrication matters here, but so does local care. Aloe vera gel or a small amount of ghee applied topically can soothe dryness and irritation, particularly if there's sensitivity or bleeding. And just to say, if symptoms persist, worsen, or feel concerning, it's always important to check in with your healthcare provider or your Ayurvedic consultant. This brings us to the nervous system. Vata imbalance almost always involves the nervous system. And often this is the piece people underestimate. Simple supports can be surprisingly powerful. Staying warm, especially feet, head, neck, the ears as well. Wearing socks, gloves, and a hat. Going to bed earlier. Allowing more time lying down and being still are super helpful in the winter and to calm Vata down. Let me say this clearly, rest is not laziness in the winter, it's regulation. Immobility balances excess movement. Seasonal Vata imbalance often feels stronger if you're naturally Vata dominant or if you're in the Vata phase of life. This includes perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. Just last week, a student said to me, I feel like winter hits me so much harder than it used to be. And it's often the body asking for more warmth, more rhythm, and more care than before. Many winter imbalances begin first thing in the morning when the body is cold, dry, and more sensitive to stimulation. That's why a simple grounding morning routine can change the tone of the entire day. As I share in my morning routine blueprint, how to start your morning sets the tone for the whole day. A calm, grounding routine isn't a luxury, it's essential. But a calming morning routine doesn't mean a slow or aimless one. It's about having a structured, intentional start that helps you feel steady and prepared. Because if mornings feel rushed or scattered, and again, especially in the winter, a good structure can be deeply supportive. So if you're thinking, that all sounds great, Katja, but I struggle with consistency. Well, you're not alone there. And that's actually why I created the new edition, Stress Less, Live More, the rhythm workshop I mentioned earlier. It's a space where we build simple, seasonal morning routine together, adapted to your life, your nervous system, and the season you're in. Not rigid, not demanding, just supportive. Before we finish, I want to leave you with this. Winter doesn't ask for perfection. Nothing really asks for that. But it asks for consistency. If everything feels too much, come back to the essentials. Warmth, lubrication, a rhythm. And if you have only 5 minutes, sip hot water, add a little ghee to your meals, apply some warm oil to your thighs and your tummy, or stay in bed a little longer. Those small acts tell the nervous system you are supported. Winter support isn't about doing more. It's about replacing what the season quietly takes away. Thank you so much for listening to Rooted in the Seasons. If you enjoyed this episode, you can subscribe or follow Rooted in the Seasons on Spotify or Apple Podcast. That way, new episodes land automatically for you. If you like more support between episodes, you can download my free guide, my 5 quick Ayurvedic fixes to move from scattered to steady, and join my Sunday newsletter. You'll find all relevant links in the show notes. And if something in today's episode resonated, I genuinely love to hear from you. You can connect with me on Substack, or even better, send me an email. I always read and answer them. Until next time, stay rooted in the seasons. Bye-bye.